All right, and welcome to another edition of the Sports Blast Saturday Sports Blast Show. My name is Ralph Williams. I am the host of the Saturday Sports Blast Show. And yeah, what do you want to talk about? And let us talk to you today. And we're here in Studios 10 here in Berlin, Maryland, in Studio A. And my panel today is Brian Pettit from the Sports Break Media and Leo Haggerty from Amped Up Sports. Pensman will not be joining us today as other obligations, so he will not be joining us today. Next week, we will not be here with you next week. I'm taking the entire week off from media next week, and all RW media programs will not air online next week because my wife is going in on Monday for surgery, and I'm spending the first week of her recovery with her, and I will be back the following week. So just to let everyone know that as well. Today,
family first, Ralph. Family first.
Absolutely, Leo. Absolutely, you got it. So I will be. We will not be here next Saturday, so I just want to let everyone know that as well. And also, don't forget, coming up in September, the Labor Day weekend, we will start the college football season with our college football special show that we're going to be doing throughout the college football year. We're going to be breaking down games, going through scores, going through different conferences, things like that, breaking it all down for you. And then until everything is satisfied, even into the bowl season, then we'll get back into the Saturday Sports Blast Show, just like we did last year. So just to let everyone know that coming up as our summer's winding down here and football season is getting started. All right, let's get started here. First, introduce yourself. Tell everybody how they can get a hold of you and what's going on. Brian, we'll start with you. Good morning, Brian Pettit.
All right. Okay, my name is Brian Pettit. This is Sports Break Media for more sports news and breaking updates, highlights, and reaction to the NFL, NBA, MLB, and college sports. Follows Sports Break at Sports Break Media on all platforms. Follow us on X at 25 Sports Break and subscribe to Sports Break Media on YouTube. I'm Brian Pettit. Thanks for watching. And just remember on Sports Break, wherever the game never stops. So there you go. There's the new thing.
All right. Leo Haggerty, Amped Up Sports. Go ahead, Leo.
Yeah, Leo Haggerty, Amped Up Sports. You can check us out on YouTube, Instagram. We're all over the place. We may have a big announcement coming up shortly, so stay tuned for that one. And I'll tell you what, I got a great story about the Bucks preseason game last night when we get there, Ralph, because you know.
Oh, sure, yeah. Steelers played on Thursday also. So, I mean,
the 49ers played on Thursday, too.
Yeah. Yeah, and the 49ers played. And Atlanta really looked bad with Kevin Stefanski. Oh, my gosh, this team looked awful. Oh, man. So we'll see what happens there as well.
And then I got a question for Leo and Ralph that I heard yesterday on one of the national news. So I just want to give Ralph and you, Ralph, and
sure
Leo a little thing here. So, yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. Hey, Leo. And I know I know you watch some of the sports. Do you think we can have now we've talked about, the rookies and the quarterbacks from this year in the NFL. Can you see more than one starting for this year and then next year? Like Cade Klubnik. Also, you can actually see, Mendoza starting. Can you see that for next year? I mean,
like an Arch Manning coming in or a Dante Moore doing the
same
thing?
I'm talking about like overall. Like, can we see more of the rookies this year playing more this year than we've seen in a long time in their first year?
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, it's not really a lot of good results, too. You know what? If we look at all these guys that have really succeeded, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, they all sat. They all watched the game. They weren't throw in, Jalen Hurts. The speed of an NFL game.
How about Jordan Love? He sat out all that time. He was the number one draft pick.
Absolutely. Yeah. And, you just don't walk out. And I still think Steve Spurrier did such a disservice when he brought that one kid from Tennessee in, and he never recovered. You know, that may be the case down in Tennessee, that, it's such a bad first year that he may not recover. I'll tell you what, New England's got a problem up there with Drake May after the way he just, because of the way that team was set up, he was annihilated in the Super Bowl. That's going to leave marks.
Yeah.
And hey, not ready for that. And these guys that are young, first-year quarterbacks, it's hard. You look at what's going on. Unless you're getting a lot of support from your teammates, you're not going to be able to carry it, because it's the NFL, guys. And you know what the NFL stands for? Not for long.
Not for long.
Because
That's
you
right.
ain't going to have a long
said
time.
it perfectly. He said, not for long. When you make calls like that, he said that to that referee. I'll never forget that, Jerry Glanville.
Jerry Glanville, remember? That was hysterical.
That was a classic era, man.
Hey, guys, I gotta share this story with you.
Sure, go ahead.
So the Bucks are playing the Jets up in the Meadowlands, and the game's on NFL Network. So I turn on NFL Network, so that's being blocked from down here. I said, okay, so I'll go to the local station. I don't know what they were thinking there, but they switched to the Spanish broadcast. So I had the entire game in Spanish.
Oh, geez.
Obviously, I turned the sound off immediately.
Why didn't you turn the voice? Why don't you turn the voice off and go to your radio voices? I've done that already.
Because it is such a difference, Ralph. It's like a 7 to 8 second delay. If you're new,
the delay, yeah.
ESPN, it's almost 13 seconds. I mean, team will run a play, but back in the huddle, they be coming out of the huddle, and they still haven't run the play. And then coming off of NFL Network, you have no idea how long that's going to be. So crazy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I have Comcast, and we just got NFL Network back in time because supposedly there was a contract squabble, and I'm so happy that we got them back, and that's always great news. So, all right, let's get started with our show here today. We're going to dissect the AFC South. Today, I have some news about the UFL real quick here. The UFL has issued an apology to the St. Louis Battlehawks because of their lower attendance record this year, although they still hold the record for most attendance, and for low investment in the St. Louis market. And this is reported by Fox 2 Now, who said the UFL says it plans to put more money and manpower behind the St. Louis Battlehawks next season after attendance at one of its strongest markets took a sharp decline for the 2026 season. Guys, this is a sad note here because the Battlehawks were selling games out like crazy up until this year. What can we blame this on? The product? We blame it on the economy. Is there numerous factors here that caused this attendance decline in St. Louis with the UFL? We'll start with you, Leo. Go ahead.
There are so many different variables here, and I don't think you can limit it down to one. The time you're playing the games, the days you're playing the games, the competition, you just don't know what's causing that. But the bottom line is, if you win, they will come. That's always been the mantra, no matter what. And that's a huge thing. And I don't know what the answer is there, because St. Louis has always supported the Battlehawks.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They've sold out games. They've breaking every attendance record. We spoke about a week or two ago about Birmingham. What happened there? I mean, you would have thought Birmingham would have really drew a lot of these fans. Is the UFL declining, Brian? That's what I want to know. Do you think that this is a declining league, or do you think they're going to continue the way they are, or do you think it's just the economy? What are your thoughts on this decline in attendance at these games?
I think it's all in one. I think it's all in one system. I think they're low budgeted and everything. Nobody's watching them really. I mean, you don't have the big names in there. you just have like the mediocre guys that are playing, and I think this could be turning away from UFL. You know what I'm,
Right.
it's
Right.
it's
Yeah.
kind of like
Oh, exactly.
it's kind of like everything else, like the XFL, all that, in all one. I think it's going to be crazy.
You know what, guys? I think the biggest problem is they're renters. They're not owners. When the season's over, they shut down. They're not around anymore. There's nothing that comes out in the media. It's strictly an in-season league. So all of a sudden, there's nothing happening. They're not doing remotes with players' places. And
No.
You're a renter. You're not an owner. And that's not good.
Yeah.
No, it's not. You're right about Leo, and you make an interesting point with that. The fact that the NFL does a 365. There's always something with the NFL, Leo, with all the teams, and everybody gets into it. And that's what the UFL does not do. Their season is from point A to point B, and then what happens is they end up drifting away, like you said, and they have nothing going on. You know what I mean? At all. And they have to come up with a new marketing strategy in order for this league to survive. And they can't go into cities that already have NFL teams. That's another story too. But that's,
and you know what? They need to make sure they don't go into cities that have huge college teams as well. I mean,
yes, exactly.
This won't play in Tuscaloosa. This won't play in Baton Rouge.
Baton Rouge, right?
You got to find
Omaha,
places.
Nebraska, or something like that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Omaha would be perfect. I mean, you just and again, set reasonable expectations, right? Let's see if we can grow 10% this year and then 10% next year. Let's not think we can go for 50% from year 1 to year 2, unless you got something that really is marketable. Right now, they don't, and they need to have a survival mentality right now. Let's get through the next 2 or 3 years. TV wants us there, so let's find a way to get there.
Yeah, they keep saying they're going to put a team in Canton, Ohio at the Hall of Fame and all that other stuff. That hasn't happened, and a lot of different things. They have to live up to their promises. They also have to, do some better marketing. They have to think outside the box a little bit with a couple of things. And, in order for them to survive. Brian, any final thoughts before we move on to our next topic?
No, and I think it's a lot of money too. I mean, you look at it, there's not a lot of fan bases, because when you look around some of the league, some of the areas, you don't see that name out there like, some of the names out there, because they don't advertise it a lot. And you have to find
guys, have you ever seen a person walking around with a UFL shirt of any team?
No.
End of story.
No.
Right there.
I'll tell you what, up here, where I live here, I have seen Birmingham. I've seen some Birmingham shirts, but I haven't seen anything else. So, but and I know people who still have Maulers shirts from when the Pittsburgh Maulers were around.
Yeah.
So on both the purple and the black and gold. So, but I haven't seen anybody with a DC Defender shirt on down here. I mean, I live in Maryland, I don't see anybody with a DC Defender shirt on, but I have seen some people with Birmingham shirts, Birmingham Stallions, so if that's the team. And Todd Haley, who's the head coach in Columbus, he lives around here as well. So, I mean, he promotes Columbus. He's been on the boardwalk and all that, but, that's as far as I know. But I don't see anything else. So you're right. The promotion, marketing, it takes a lot to get this going. All right, guys, let's dissect these exhibition games our teams all played. Brian, San Francisco, Leo's Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and myself, the Pittsburgh Steelers, with our new coach, Mike McCarthy. So we'll go with Leo first. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, go ahead. Todd Bowles.
Yeah, the Buccaneers beat the Jets last night. It's hard to get into it. Now, one of the Bucks, who's from Jersey, intercepted a pass and pick six all the way back. And I'm thinking, that kid just locked his position somewhere on an NFL roster. It may not be in Tampa, but he just put on film something that all 31 other teams are going to say, okay, I want to look at this kid. So, yeah. And again, we're looking at guys that may not even make the roster. So it's hard to get excited about this. I think next week is going to be important because the starters are going to play a little bit. I don't think they're going to play much. But again, it's nice to have them back. The Jets were up 10-0, and then the Bucs came back, and that was it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. All right, Brian, San Fran 49ers. Good.
Yeah, they lost to the Titans 19-13, and none of the
Tennessee
starters.
Titans.
Yeah, they didn't even play their starters. They didn't play Preedy. They didn't play McCaffrey. They didn't tell Evans. They didn't play a lot of their starters. So, we might see them next week. But all in all, they had a couple of mistakes. They can clean that up. Some of them, misread some stuff. But overall, I think they look pretty good for second string. But they got a lot of things to clean up, though. I mean, this is an older team. So the only thing is, if they're going to make a good run here in the playoffs, like everybody thinks they can, they got to stay healthy. That's the key thing. You got to stay healthy, and you got older guys. You got that defense, and the only thing I'm concerned is their corners. Their corners are a little weak, but can they handle some of these big stars that are on the offensive side of wide receivers? So that's my big concern. You got to stay healthy, and you got to contain. And also from last year, we all learned from the 49ers, the pass rush. Can they pass rush the offensive line of opposing teams? Because last year, they didn't rush at all hardly. They didn't pass rush a lot, and that's what their big key was last year. They didn't have a lot of sacks, so they need a lot of that too. So, we'll see that more in the coming weeks before they actually get into the regular season.
Hey, Ralph, before you go to the Steelers, let me retract what I said. I said the starters didn't play. Yeah, they played in the practices the days before. So, yeah,
Right.
They got their work in a controlled environment. So they got a lot of snaps there. So they didn't need to get them in the exhibition game. They got them in the practices, which may have been a lot more competitive than the game anyway.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I gotta give credit to Mike McCarthy. This Steeler team looked really good on Thursday. They made a bunch of boneheaded mistakes, like some unsportsmanlike conduct penalties on defense, but that comes with aggressive defense. And I know about aggressive defense because Pat Narduzzi, the coach at Pitt, has an aggressive defense, and a lot of times he's blown games because his defense got so aggressive that they had unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. And what do they call that? Not charging. What do they call that?
Unnecessary roughness.
Yeah, that and there's that. What's the other one when they try to hit the guy purposely and they blame him for
Targeting.
Yeah, targeting. Right. Yeah, it didn't go that far, but there were several unsportsmanlike conduct penalties that has to be cleaned up. But thank goodness it was preseason. I like what I saw. I like the spread offense that he has, West Coast offense. I like the aggressiveness of the defense. I mean, we literally shut Green Bay down. I mean, there could have been times it could have been a disaster because of the penalties, but we were able to overcome them. And I like what I saw in the Pittsburgh Steelers on Thursday night. Even though it was a preseason game, I like Drew Allure. I also liked Will Howard. He did pretty good for himself. Mason Rudolph. When Mason Rudolph was getting protected, there was a lot of things that, like Troy Famatu or Fatanu, he has to clean some things up. He let a guy go through for a sack and had 3 penalties. Three penalties. You can't do that. That puts you back, and especially on the line of scrimmage, you just can't do that kind of stuff. That stuff can't go on. I want to thank Richard for being part of the show here. He's chatting with Brian here on the chat line, on the chat here in the comments. I want to thank him for watching. I want to thank you as well for watching this morning. Just a programming note, don't forget next week, there will be no Saturday Sports Blast show next week because my wife is going in for surgery on Monday, and I'm taking the week off to help her recover, and I will be back on the that Monday, the 26th, I believe it is. And no, I'm sorry, the 24th. I will be back with my Raw post show, WWE Raw post show. So I'll be back on with media stuff here online. Radio shows, I have some specials I'm doing. So tune into the radio shows for those. So just to let everyone know. So
Hello, Bo.
we
Welcome in,
got
Bo.
Bo Crouch tuning in here. Thanks, Bo.
Yeah.
Bo does a show called Coast to Coast, and every now and again you'll see him on some other podcasts and shows. Thank you, Bo, for being part of the program. Maybe one day we'll have you on here in the morning, checking in from Seattle, Washington. So just to let him know, everyone know that as well. Yeah, Emerald City, that's right. And Leo, it was great to see you back on with Peter Blake on the Sports Web. I saw that this week or last week. I saw you in a remote broadcast with him. It's great to see you guys, working together. So,
It was fun, and I'll tell you what, the food was excellent.
Oh, I bet it was. Yeah. Yeah, I bet it was. I had a guy on in Tampa there, Leo. He has there's a Philadelphia Eagle bar down there, believe it or not. And I had a guy on my Philly radio show, and he was talking about it. They call themselves Tampa Philly. And they're a group of Eagles fans. They get together for every Eagles game. And yeah, down in Tampa, there's a Philly bar down there. So
there's about 2 or 3 of them, believe me.
Oh, is it really? I didn't know that. I only thought that was that one because I interviewed that guy.
Yeah. Eagles Club.
Yeah. Okay. We have a Miami Dolphins bar up here, and then there's a Steeler bar too. So, there's a Steeler bar everywhere. So
everywhere.
Yeah, you got it. All right, let's get started here. I gave you my opinion of the Pittsburgh Steelers and what's going on with them for the game that happened on Thursday night. I was very impressed with what I saw with the with Mike McCarthy and his coaching staff, and so we'll see what goes on from there. Let's get into the AFC South today. All right, the Indianapolis Colts. All right, let's start with them first. All right, Brian, go ahead. Indianapolis Colts. Your thoughts? What do you think they're going to do this year? Go ahead.
I think that this is kind of weird. I don't know if they'll be I think they'll be a base 500 team. I really do. I mean, they got to work on a lot of things. I mean, I just think they got to work on a lot of things, offensive, defensive, and everything, So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Shane Steichen, I believe, probably this year is probably walking on eggshells, because the reason I say that is the kids have taken over now on the Irsay family in Indianapolis. They gave him one shot last year. He blew it. Richardson's been a bust. Daniel Jones is hurt. So we'll see where they go from here. Leo, go ahead. Indianapolis Colts.
Boy, you hit the nail on the head, Ralph. Now you got new ownership, whether it's in the family or not. And, here's another one. Watch the NFL. Not for long. Yeah, you better. And we need to stop talking about coaches being on eggshells. All 32 of them are. If you go out and go 1-6 out of the gate, I don't care who you are. You're going to be called into the owner's office and say, turn it around or else. The way it is. The biggest problem in Indianapolis is they have no idea the health of their quarterback. When Daniel Jones was healthy, they were playing good football. They got smart. They locked up Jonathan Taylor. Now, hopefully, they're going to run some more until they figure out if their quarterback is healthy enough. That's not a bad football team. The problem is they're not going to win games simply because of their quarterback. It's going to be, a question mark that whole way through. How much can this guy recover? How much can he lead the offense? Because we're going to bank on Jonathan Taylor until we find out how he is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're going to have Jonathan Taylor's going to be the key. And if he gets hurt, I think they're in trouble this year. Because they don't have anything else. They got, they traded Pittman to the Steelers, and they don't have anything else. And Daniel Jones, he's 50-50 right now. Nobody knows what he's going to be doing. So, I mean, and Richardson's a bust. So I mean, we'll see what the Colts do this year. I don't see them doing much. Shane Steichen might get fired after this year. I would think, but we'll see where the Irsay kids go with this. Because now they're in charge of the team. Houston Texans. Here's a team that kind of stays under the radar, and they always seem to win, get into the playoffs. They always have a good defense. Their offense kind of went back a little bit since Bobby Slowick, their offensive coordinator's been gone. We'll see where they go this year. Texans. We'll start with you, Leo. Go ahead. Houston Texans.
Well, the rumor out of Houston is that they won in spite of C.J. Stroud, and that's
they have
that defense, and you saw it up in Pittsburgh. That defense travels. It comes to play, and they need to get their quarterback to play. They need him to play at an elite level.
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
the biggest thing is that by not being at that elite level, it puts more pressure on your defense.
Yes, it does.
Then if they make a mistake or if they get behind, they can't make up for it. So they are going to need that quarterback play from C.J. Stroud. They're going to need that defense to stay and be elite. And then they're going to have to beat the teams they're supposed to beat. And again, I always say in the NFL, there's 2 games you're going to win that you're not supposed to win, but there's also 2 games you're going to lose you're not supposed to lose. So, you're 2-2 right away. You can't let there be a third mistake. That's the thing. And if you get to 10 wins, that gets yourself in the tournament. Last year, the daggone NFC South was won with 8 wins. So, and it's not that it's mediocre. It's competitive. You've got those teams at the top, but then you got a whole bunch of teams that are just really good. And they're going to have a lot of variables that they need to solve week in and week out. And Houston is one of them.
Thank you, Richard, for the kind words. Much appreciated. Thank you as well. I appreciate it. All the prayers and all the kind words everyone's been sending out for my wife for her surgery on Monday. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. Brian, go ahead. Your thoughts on the Houston Texans.
I think the Houston Texans can make a run here with Jacksonville. So I think they can, make things happen, but they got to win. That's the only key thing is you got to win. You got to win to get into the playoffs, and then you got to make a good run. But I think they can make a good run because they're one of the top contenders right now that can actually go to the Super Bowl. So I've heard that multiple times, but we'll see.
Yeah, but see, here's the problem, guys. And, like Leo said, they're too one-dimensional. Their defense, their offense has to carry some of this load. And let me say this, New England last year, it's better to be lucky than good because they got lucky a lot last year.
Time.
They got big-time lucky. And Leo's agreeing with me on this one. They got severely lucky last year and ended up in the Super Bowl and some games that they should have lost, okay? And Houston has to have that same mentality because if they don't, they're not going to make it this year. I just don't see it happening. There has to be a balance here. You can't have your defense carrying your football team. That's why they were not successful in the playoffs when they moved on. Of course, they beat the Steelers because that happens every time. But I mean, with when Mike Tomlin was the head coach. All right, Tennessee Titans. Then we'll get into Jacksonville. Tennessee Titans, new coach, Robert Saleh, Brian DeBoer, offensive coordinator, Cam Ward, second year. Where do we go from here, guys? Brian, start with you. Go. Tennessee Titans.
I think Cam Ward will actually do a pretty good job. We've seen it, on Thursday. I think this team actually can do better than a 3-14 from last year, but still they could. I think it would, for what I think is, it could be Houston, Jacksonville, Tennessee Titans, and then the Colts. That's how I got it, kind of a deal. But they got to get over the hump, though. They got to get over the hump. If they're going to make a good play, if they're going to actually do better, then let's see if they can get above 500. I love to see them get above 500. It could be the last place. So we'll have to see what they got. They got to start
Okay.
making.
I'll tell you what, guys, we might have time to even indulge into the AFC East. I think we might be able to get into that today. We have enough time here in the show. I believe we do, because we're going through this real quick here. Okay, Jacksonville or I'm sorry, Leo, go ahead. I need your thoughts on the Tennessee Titans. So sorry, go ahead.
Brian, I'm going to disagree with you a little bit. Getting to 500 is an unexpected and unrealistic expectation. Here's what they need to do. You see my hand? They need to get to 5 wins as fast as they can. That shows improvement. You're not going to go from 3-14 to 9-8. Now, everybody said, well, look at the New England Patriots. The Patriots had the easiest schedule, and God was smiling on them, except, guess what?
Yeah.
Jesus had the Patriots in the Super Bowl, but God the Father had Seattle, and guess who trumped who? That was
Yeah,
terrible.
exactly.
But I'll tell you what, Tennessee, let's find a way to get a handful of wins and maybe add into that. But the goal, everybody says let's win them all. Let's get to respectability, and respectability is going to be getting as close to 500 as you can. You're not going to win that division. It's just not going to happen.
No, unless you get lucky. I mean, something has to go in your favor, but I just don't see Tennessee doing much this year at all, because even though they have a new coach, Robert Saleh is his second stint as a head coach. He's got Brian DeBose as offensive coordinator. He's got, let's see what Cam Ward does in his second year here. Now the ship is his. The team is his to run. All right, Brian, go ahead.
I already did mine.
Oh, sorry, I already got to you. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right. Next, Jacksonville Jaguars. Liam Cohen, year number 2. Will he be miraculous as he was in year number 1? Let's start with you, Brian. Go ahead. Jacksonville Jaguars.
This team can make a deep run and maybe get to the deep end of the playoffs, because you got Trevor Lawrence. We've talked about it. I think that Trevor might have another exploding year, but they got to get the running game going, and they got to get, they got Travis Hunter now back.
Yeah.
So let's see what he can do now.
And they lost to Dente too, did they? Or DT or whatever his name is. Yeah, they lost him.
Yeah. But let's see what they could do. You don't have to append on Trevor Lawrence. Let's see if he can actually, you got a 1-2 running back. Let's see if they can run the ball. And now you got Travis Hunter. I wouldn't put him at a corner. I would just put him at wide receiver, because that's kind of thrown back in the woodshed now that he's going to be a defensive corner. Yeah, you know what I'm saying, exactly. Though. Yeah, it's back there where, but you never know what he's going to do. But I wouldn't right now. I'd just let him concentrate on being a wide receiver. That way he doesn't get hurt a lot.
Exactly. Leo, go ahead. Jacksonville Jags.
It's all going to depend on how 16 plays, like Brian said. Now, we had the chance to watch Trevor Lawrence mode 1 up at Clemson. And I mean, the guy had a great career up there. When he came into the NFL, think about this now. The guy that drafted him as the number 1 pick, he doesn't even last 5 games. And now he's into a whole nother dynamic. So nobody expected him to start real well just because of the way things went down. Now, with Liam Cohen, he's got a guy who is going to basically set parameters for Lawrence. Okay, here's what you need to do. We're going to do this, and this. You need to do this, and this for us to be successful. I think the key to this team is defense. Offense sells tickets, defense wins championships. I agree with Brian. They can make a deep run. They can get there. They got that home playoff game. The problem is they played Buffalo. And everybody wants to see Josh Allen finally get, that Super Bowl ring. But Jacksonville has a big disadvantage. They always play 2 games across the pond. It helps that you get to stay there, so they usually go 1-1. If they can go 2-0 over there, this is a team that could win 11, 12, 13 games.
Yeah. That could be more.
All right, guys. Let's get into
hey, Ralph. I want to get your thoughts before we go to the West. real quick. I want to
No,
get
we're
Leo's.
going to the
Oh,
East here.
oh,
And
my God, okay.
then we're done with the AFC. So.
Oh, okay. I want to get your thoughts on this, Ralph and Leo, because it was mentioned this week about the jersey kind of a thing. Leo, what's your thoughts on the whole entire jersey thing about what's going on, at LSU and everything? Because I want to get your thing on this since,
Rumor has it that it started with his mom. In fact, my two photographers, Bill Smith and Kelly Champion, they cover LSU completely. That's their gig for the last 7 years. And the biggest problem is there's precedent. Nobody wore 9 since Joe Burrow left. Why did they go number 5? And again, how about somebody just standing up and saying, no, you can't have 5. Pick another number. Well, I want 5. What part of no do you not understand? That's the biggest problem. These kids now, and that's because of the NIL, because of this, they're holding a lot of power because if they get mad, they're going to take their ball and go home and go someplace else. This is unsustainable completely.
Yeah.
And the NCAA either needs to get control of this, or these football powers, whether there's 40, 50, 60 of them, need to just break away, make Nick Saban the commissioner, and say, here's what we're going to do. And if you get in trouble, we're going to do something about it. Right now, there's no rules. It's the Wild West.
Oh,
well,
yes.
What I think about it is, it is kind of mess. I told Ralph about it, about the LSU guy and the Washington quarterback Daniels the other day. I think it's just one of those things where Joe Burrow and Daniels' jersey has not been really into the thing because that was under old revenge, under old staff. You just can't go out there and say, hey,
old
Leo,
regime,
old regime. I just can't promise Leo, hey, Leo, you did all this. I'm going to put your name in the thing. And also, they have a new whole entire department area too, I mean, when, let's say, and I'll take this back to this too. Deshaun Watson had Fuller's 4, they honored it because they put a sticker on, Deshaun Watson's 4. Now, has he lived up to that 4? I don't know, over the past couple of years, nobody's going to, in 15 years or 10 or 20 years, you're not going to be recognized as that number because, if the people that are 1 year old or just being born, are they going to remember Michael Jordan's number? No, they're not going to know. They're going to say, oh, that's Michael Jordan.
And guys, in NCAA football, you can't retire jerseys because right now you've got like 60 people wearing the same jersey, offense, defense.
Yeah.
You're out of numbers.
You do. Yeah. You got multiple
that.
players wearing the same number. That happens at Pitt. They got like 5 guys wearing number 8. Yeah. They got 5 guys wearing number 8. So, I mean,
no, they only got 2. But it seems like there's a different guy. But I can still remember Wake Forest. And Brian, you probably remember this. The Clemson-Wake Forest game when they had 2 36s on the field for Wake Forest.
Yeah,
and they ran a kickoff.
Offense. Yeah, defense and offense.
Yep. And they both were on the same team. And somebody got hurt. Well, the other one ended up, and they're kicking off, and the referee goes, no, you can't have 2 36s. Here comes the flag.
Yeah.
I'm going to work on getting Ryan Neal on here. He covers LSU for you guys at Amped Up Sports, if I'm correct, right, Leo?
Yep.
Is he still with you? Yeah, Ryan Neal. And he'll also come on and talk with us about the New Orleans Saints. Kellen Moore is in his second year as a head coach there. And we're going to see what the Saints do this year. They've kind of stayed under the radar a little bit, but they won some games last year and they were very competitive. So I can't say that they didn't get blown out. I don't even think they got blown out all year long. So, I mean, they were competitive. All right.
Can we agree, guys, that if we're looking at the AFC South, it's Jacksonville, Houston, and then Indianapolis and Tennessee?
And the Titans. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a dogfight between the Texans and the Jaguars. That's where it's going to go. The Titans got a new coaching staff, and Shane Steichen, I don't know what he's going to do with the Colts. I think that's a dumpster fire this year, but we'll find out. All right, let's get into the AFC East. The Dolphins, Miami Dolphins, they have no chance. Jeff Hafley's way over his head. In my opinion, he is. Go ahead, Brian. You can go first here. Dolphins, Miami Dolphins.
Oh, this is going to be the bottom with the Jets. I think the Jets will overtake
Yeah.
Miami, but Dolphins have a lot of problems. I mean, a lot of problems. Offense, defense. They got to find the right connection this year. I mean, they can, they might go. They could be worse, but they just got to find a good whole entire thing. I mean, he's got years to work on it, but I don't think they're going to work on it this year. I think they'll be the bottom of the league. And if they're not careful, then you can see them being the number 1 pick for next year,
Yeah, that could happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm interested. I want to see what Jeff Hafley's made of. I do. I'm not sold on him as a head coach yet, but we'll see what he does. Leo, go ahead. Miami Dolphins. You're close to this. Go ahead.
How do you think Arch Manning's going to look in a Dolphin jersey?
That would be crazy.
That's
Exactly.
The Dolphins have to make a decision. You got to play the long game here, okay? What do we want to do? Well, offense sells tickets, defense wins games. Let's start to figure out what advantage we have of having that number 1 pick. Okay, I'm not saying tank, but I'm saying start prepping for 2027, not necessarily 2026. If they want to win now, you want to sit there, you want to get that running game going. You want to get a tight end who can get over the middle. You want that defense to be stout because you got not only a question mark at coach, you got a question mark at quarterback. You got a guy coming in from the Packers, Malik Willis. What is he
Malik
done?
Willis? Yeah, we've not seen enough of Malik Willis to know what we do know what we saw of him, what he's capable of.
It's a very short
I think
sample
Miami
size,
overpaid
Ralph.
for
You're
him.
exactly right. And
That's
we have no sample size for Jeff Hafley. So again, if the expectation in Miami is 9 wins or higher, they may be looking for a coach because that's just probably not going to happen. I think if you can get to 4 or 5, maybe 6, that's a good season. If they get more, God love them. That's icing on the cake.
That's a bonus. Yeah.
But you know what? If you only get 2, 3, or 4, you may be in the Arch Manning Derby. And that's not a bad thing right now.
All right. Their offensive coordinator is who I was talking about with the Texans that they lost, Bobby Slowick.
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe Malik Willis might do okay this year with him as offensive coordinator. Their
Stroud hasn't been the same since he left there, Ralph. You're
exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. And Sean Dugan is the defensive coordinator. Here's some names of name that is on the staff here. How about Liddell Betts is their running backs coach, Liddell Betts. So, we'll see where that goes. Tal Tolbert is a wide receivers coach. Ron Middleton, he's got a pretty good staff there, but, that don't always lead to wins. We're going to find out what happens, but he's got a pretty good staff
guys,
here.
We all know it ain't about the X's and O's. It's about the Jimmies and Joes.
Yep, exactly.
That's right. Exactly.
Hey, Ralph, before we go on real quick, Brian,
good.
Who's going to line up under center for the Tigers down in Bayou country? Any idea
yet? Well, you remember we talked about that months ago. I said, keep your head on the table.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, and nobody reported it, and now all of a sudden it's, could it be Vizina or could it be Robertson or Trent, whatever that thing is. But yeah, we could see really, because I'll tell you this, Leo and Ralph, they're not saying, they're actually being hushed because their depth chart's not out. We're bad, we're not good, we're terrible, but yet they're keeping everything in house. I mean, they've closed practice to everything now.
They're forcing LSU to prepare for everybody.
Yeah. I mean, they're not seeing anything. But we'll see.
That's going to be an interesting game, LSU versus Clemson. I'm interested to see what Dabo Swinney versus Lane Kiffin what that does. You know what I mean? That's going to be a really good game, you know?
Oh yeah.
So, all right, let's move on here. The New York Jets. Oh my. Oh, I got to sound the alarm.
Sound the alarm.
Oh, they got Geno Smith as their starting quarterback.
And
So
now
we're going to
he's
find
hurt.
out what happens up there. Huh?
Well. I want to go on this one. If
Go ahead.
Geno Smith, this is funny. If Geno Smith doesn't do good in 5 games, let's say that he's turning the ball over, could we see Leo and Ralph? Could we see Cade Klubnik as quarterback or Cook be quarterback for the Jets this year? You know, could
Well, I'll
we
tell
see
you
the,
what, Brian, here's the scary thing. If you're the Jets,
Yeah.
you've got enough draft capital, but if you finish first, you don't need it. If you finish second or third, you can move up to get that quarterback.
Yeah.
If Geno Smith gets pulled, the chances, I don't think you want to put either one of those guys in, only because say they turn this thing around and they win 6-7 games.
Yeah.
Now, what are you going to do? You don't have that first pick. I think they're going to stay with Geno the entire season and hope they end up with 2, 3, 4, 5 wins. And they can get that first pick and get that quarterback that they want to stay on the roster. I think it's a risk reward for putting him down and putting in your backup, because if that backup plays well, look out.
Yeah.
Because now, let's say he comes in and they win 9 games. Oops. Now what do you do?
Well, Leo, I was going to say this. Let's say if Geno Smith gets hurt, you know.
Oh,
say
that's a whole different animal now, Brian. You're exactly right.
Well, let's say they go, let's say there's 6 games into the season and they are 1-5. Okay, Geno gets hit, gets hurt, and Cade comes in or Cook comes in, and then they rattle off. Now you're looking at another 6 games. That's 12 games into the season. Now they're 6-6, and now everybody's talking, oh goodness, they've won 6 games here. No, 1-6 or whatever. But now you're talking above 500, and then they win a couple of here, a couple of there. They can look at being almost basically 500, you know, at the end of the season. Now what do? You know, you've won a lot of these games, coming back and winning, but Geno Smith has lost, 5 games or 6 games or whatever, you know?
Yeah, you go, oh, what? And you fill in the blank with whatever words you want. Because I don't think the Jets are planning on Geno Smith or the other guys they have on the roster to be that quarterback of the future. Now, nobody planned on Tom Brady being that guy.
No.
Nobody planned on
Not at
Sam
all.
Darnold coming back and being that guy. So you know what? I think you play to win the football game. You know, that's Herman Edwards. In fact, that line is on the San Diego State elevator as you're walking into the athletic department. And you know what? I think the Jets, let's play to win the game, because think about this last year. They go 17 games and don't get an interception. You have to try to do that. How can you not get an interception in 17 games? That's insanity.
You have to create turnovers when you're on defense,
Yeah.
Leo, and
Right.
yeah.
And the funny thing is, you got a head coach who's a defensive-minded coach.
Minded coach Aaron Glenn, yeah.
Yeah, the fact that they didn't get any interceptions, that's going to change. They're going to get some this year. So look out.
Okay, now their coaching staff is very interesting here, and their quarterbacks might not be too bad. Their offensive coordinator is I call him a liar because he said he was never coaching again after he left Stanford. Frank Reich is their offensive coordinator. Okay. So he lied. He told everybody he was done. He was retiring, but they must be paying him a lot
He
of
didn't
money.
lie to him, Ralph. He said he was retiring from college football.
College. Okay. Yeah. Well, guess who their quarterback's coach is? This is a familiar name for you, Leo. Bill Musgrave. Remember him?
Oh, yeah.
Coached at Florida and a couple other teams. Yeah.
Yep.
He's their quarterback's coach. Their their tight ends coach Alfredo Roberts, formerly of Pitt, is one of their tight ends coach. Now, here this gets interesting. Their defensive line coach is formerly from the Steelers as well, and Tomlin staff Carl Dunbar is their defensive line coach. So they've got some interesting coaches there on offense as well. Frank Reich's, we'll see where he goes with this, and Bill Musgrave is a really good coach when it comes to quarterbacks. So, I mean, so we'll see how far the Jets go this year. Bills, Buff Bills, new coach, Joe Brady. Brian, we'll start with you. Go ahead.
With the new coaching staff, new stadium, they
got to win. They got to do something this year.
They got to win. They
have
to win a lot, So I think they can make in this league. The AFC is going to be tough coming out of it. The big storylines can Josh Allen win the Super Bowl this year under also a new era under Joe Brady, DJ Moore changing the offense. Defense needs to improve. It's a whole bunch, and I think they can go 11-6 years and make the playoffs, and hopefully they can be a high Super Bowl potential. That's what I think about it. But can we do it?
They have to win this year, Brian, with this, and Leo. Yeah, they have to win this year with this new stadium. They can't lay an egg. They have to do something this year. Everybody's excited. I mean, they're real excited about this team. New coach. Let's see what happens here. Leo, go ahead. Buff Bills.
Let's talk about ownership up there. You just fired a head coach that have got you to the playoffs, 7 straight years, won you home games, been that close to getting to the Super Bowl. You just fired him. You're telling Joe Brady it's Super Bowl or bust. You need to get there. And that's going to be a lot of pressure. But I'll tell you what, the stars are aligned in Buffalo. New stadium, new staff, a new expectation of what's going on in Buffalo. I think they're going to step up and they're going to win that division. Probably with 11 or 12 wins, maybe 13. But I think they're going to just be at the top the whole way, and people are going to try to catch him. But the question is, how far can he go in the second season? Because that's what got Sean McDermott. He got fired because he couldn't win in the playoffs. So getting to the playoffs is an expectation. Winning in the playoffs is what needs to happen in Buffalo.
Yep. And Leo and Ralph.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Can the curse be taken away now that they're in a new stadium, or is it still living in the new stadium?
The curse, yeah. They have some kind of curse, man. They blew 4 Super Bowls. So,
So can the curse be uncursed in Buffalo? With their new stadium.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know if you saw the.
Here we go.
The documentary they did with Peyton Manning and Josh Allen standing at Niagara Falls and throwing stuff in a barrel and throwing it over to the falls to get rid of the curse. That was hysterical.
Oh, man. Yeah, they got to do something. All right, New England Patriots, lover boy Mike Vrabel and the gang here. We talked earlier about how it's better to be lucky than good with New England. We'll see what happens. Leo, start with you. New England Patriots and lover boy. Let's see what happens. Go ahead.
They will struggle to win 10 games this year because, one, they have the first place schedule, and number 2, they're not sneaking up on anybody. Everybody thought, well, they're the Patriots. They're not going to turn around that fast. Well, guess what? And they had so much luck. And, everybody talks about, what luck is when opportunity meets preparation. Some of the luck was bad luck for the team they're playing. I can't believe Sean Payton didn't have somebody tap him on the shoulder and say, hey, we got a blizzard coming. We need to change. Let's just keep the lead and go. Let's not go for this on 4th down.
Yeah.
So, I think they're going to struggle to win 9 games because they're going to find Drake May is going to find out what it's like to have people coming at him in droves because Seattle laid the playbook for how to beat the Patriots. That offensive line, make them work, get to one-on-ones, beat them, and then hit the quarterback often.
I don't think they're going to be that lucky this year, Leo. I agree with you 100%. I don't think they're going to be that lucky this year, like they were last year. And with this distraction with Mike Vrabel, that doesn't help. And then you got that you got Josh McDaniel, who he's got an arrogant attitude. So we'll see where this team goes this year. All right, go ahead, Brian.
They'll finish second from default because they're going to finish ahead of Miami and the Jets just because of how bad they are.
Yeah, exactly. Go ahead, Brian.
The storylines for this year for the New England Patriots, can Drake May be the biggest question? A.J. Brown arrives, adding Brown gives Mayo another big major weapon. Can Mike Vrabel being another big, could it be another entering season? The defense, can that be a strong? They got a lot of questions, Mark, but can they get back to the Super Bowl for this year? That could be a big question, but they got to stay healthy. Like all these teams, they got to stay healthy. Any of the NFL teams, you got to stay healthy to make a big run in the playoffs and maybe the Super Bowl. You just can't be, in this AFC, if you took the top 5 teams, you can't even rank them as you got the Chiefs in here. You got other teams that you got the Bills, you got Jacksonville. This is going to be a hard conference to actually come out of when the playoffs begin, so you never know who's actually going to win this AFC,
Yeah, there's 3 teams in the West.
Yeah, you mean the East here. Yeah.
You got the Chiefs, the Chargers, and the Broncos all in the West, and I think are better than New England right now.
Yeah.
They've improved this year. The Chargers have Mike McDaniel as their offensive coordinator. Justin Herbert should thrive this year. So, I mean, and then you've got several other. It's going to be competitive this year. And I don't know in this division, like you said, Leo, New England could possibly by default end up winning that division. You know what I mean? If they get lucky again. So we'll see. They could be another Carolina and be 8-9 and get into the playoffs. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So, all right, guys, closing remarks, and then we're going to wrap it up here. We'll start with you, Leo. Go ahead. Tell everybody they can get a hold of you and what you're up to. Go ahead.
Yeah, go to YouTube. Check us out at Amped Up Sports there. The Bucks come home. They're going to play the Chiefs this coming week. USF is starting week 3 of the training camp. The Rays, Pensman isn't on because the Rays are still in first place, guys. The Yankees are looking up at a team that has a payroll that is minuscule compared to theirs. And the Lightning, they come back in September for training camp. So it's starting ready to heat up, fellas, in Tampa.
Yep.
All right. Hey, you're right about that. You can't deny that as well. Go ahead, Brian. Your closing remarks and tell everybody they can get a hold of you. Go ahead.
Yeah. My name is Brian Pettit. This is Sports Break Media. You can find me on some of the, Sports Break Media on all platforms, even on X at 25 Sports Break, and subscribe to Sports Break Media on YouTube. Also, I just want to say a shout out. How about the Cubs are getting better now, and they're putting a little damper on the Brewers right now, but they're only 3 games back now, so they're the hottest team right now in the major leagues, and they can make a good playoff run, what I've heard from the past. So we'll see. Go Cubs.
It looked like Greg Counsell was on eggshells at the beginning of the season. It looked like Cubs were going to lose, but now they're starting to pick it up, and playoff time's coming up, and I think they might just make it because the Pirates aren't doing anything, and the rest of the teams in that division, other than Milwaukee, that's their only competition right now. So we'll see where they go, the Cubs.
And I want to add in this, the game that they had at the Field of Dreams, that was awesome how they did that and everything. I agree. They should play that. They should play actually 2 games there or something. But I think they need to play at least a couple of games there, Field of Dreams, because that was spectacular coming out of the corn. You know, that's one of those biggest. That's actually a big movie of mine. I love the Field of Dreams, and I wish I could go there one time just to experience. You know, just to go there and see what it's all about. You know, but they do a lot of good work.
Brian, I agree with you. They got to play at least one there every year.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, guys. My name is Ralph Williams. I am I have RW Media Productions. I have shows here on my Facebook page, my YouTube channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe to all of our channels. And also, we're on Twitch, Twitter X, and the Kick Network. We're simulcasted today on Sports Break Media. And also, don't forget this afternoon, as part of the Saturday of Ralph, every single Saturday this afternoon, 2 to 3 p.m., Sports Corner Radio Show on AM 1250 The Answer and 92.5 on the FM dial. StreamYard's doing it to me again here. This is sticking. There we go.
You know what, Ralph? You need to change your opening to kind of be like the Wizard of Oz. Just come on. I am the great and powerful Ralph Williams.
Yeah.
And come out from behind the curtain.
with the smoke and
there you go.
You know, with the everything like everybody else does.
Oh, okay, yeah, I would love to do. There it is, every Saturday, 2 to 3 p.m. Sports Corner Radio Show with me, Ralph Williams, Smoking Jim Frazier, Claudia Rosano, Luther Dupree. Don't forget to look at the ticker tape at the bottom. We have sponsorship advertising available in all your comments, Ralph Williams 737 at gmail.com. And also, don't forget my website, www.rwmediaproductions.com. And don't forget the QR code at the top of your screen as well to participate in all RW Media Production shows. Help us to get where we need to be with subscribers and whatnot. And until 2 weeks from today, and as I mentioned before, all RW Media shows will not be airing next week. There'll be some special shows airing, but there will not be any RW Media shows here. Go look back at my archive versions of the Ralph Report Wrestling edition. Check out my shorts and everything else. Those will be posted. But other than that, there's not going to be any programming because of my wife going in for surgery. So I'll be helping her with the recovery next week. Until next time, for Leo Haggerty and Brian Pettit, I'm Ralph Williams. You have yourself a great one 2 weeks from today. Until 2 weeks from today, have yourself a great one. And please, by all means, be safe. Thank you.
Have a good one, guys.
You too. Yeah.